Well, I had a small project come in this morning. I had a guy that I've done some pipe fence work for call me yesterday and asked me if I'd take a look at this and fix it up for him. So I told him to drop it off and we get it done up. I believe it's some sort of an attachment for a skid steer grappler bucket deal of some sort. You can see it's been repaired a time or two. There's some old weld on it. There's some weld on the top side somebody had done. And you can see up here somebody's done something. And on the bottom side, there's definitely a little bit of weld repair on it. So I think what we're gonna do is this piece that's curled up on the inside, I'm gonna get the plasma cutter out, cut it off. And when this broke and bent down, it's kind of bound up below here where it's notched out for that sleeve. I'm gonna take the plasma cutter and trim up in here, bend this back up, cut out all the old weld. I think I'm gonna come in here and bevel the outside of this. He said there's kind of somewhat of a tight tolerance in between here and where it fits up in with the pin. So I think we're gonna bevel this out and maybe even bevel the sleeve a little bit. You can kind of see right here, it never really had much of a penetration in there. If it'll focus, the camera will focus. There's a little bit in there, but not much. So I think we might bevel this sleeve out so we can get some decent penetration in here. We may even cut, this is kind of bent up a little bit. I don't know if that's gonna interfere with the sleeve going back in here or not. So we may end up cutting that out. I think once we get it all tacked up, everything looks good. We'll weld these out. And then we're probably gonna come in on the top side with some 3/16 plate and kind of do like a repad or reinforcement deal. And I don't know if we'll bend it around and wrap it all the way, or if we'll just do up to the center and then do the same thing on the bottom. Kind of figure that out as we go. So just gonna jump into it and get going. Well, I got everything cut out and prepped up and ready to weld. I got a piece of 1-inch plate clamped to the bottom, and that's more or less just to keep that sleeve kind of flat with the outside. And it's something to hold it, so I'm not trying to eyeball it when I tack it into place. I'm gonna take the TIG welder and throw a couple tacks into this thing on the top, and I'll do the same thing on the bottom. I got a small bevel on it, not much, just to give a little extra penetration. I know it's kind of a tighter tolerance on the outside where this slides into, so I can't have a bunch of reinforcement on the outside. But he did say I could get away with probably a 1/16 or so. Once I get it all tacked into place, we'll take a grinder, clean all that old weld off that sleeve, and then we'll figure out what we want to do with this. I don't know if I'm going to cut this back a few inches and put some new plate in, and then we'll put our extra plate or our repad on the outside, or if maybe we'll go a different direction, but we'll figure that out once we get going. Well, I got the sleeve welded in there. Both sides got 3 passes on it. It's got a small root pass in there and then a little 2B cap on it. It definitely could have come out better. There's a lot of impurities in this metal. It was pulling a lot of stuff out of there. So it kind of just is what it is at this point. I've got a little bit of metal cut up and we're gonna start addressing these holes over here, getting those fixed, and then we'll put our strap on the outside or our repad and throw some paint on it and she'll be done. Well, I got her all welded out. I put a little paint on it just to kind of keep it from rusting. Don't mind my walls back there. We bought this building and somebody had painted these roll-up doors and we just never messed with them. But anyways, it took me about 2 hours to do the repair, and that's kind of what I was figuring it was gonna take. Decided to go ahead and just MIG weld the outside of it so it would go faster. A lot of times with stuff like this, clients don't want to throw a ton of time on it because shop labor adds up pretty fast and it can make a repair pretty expensive. If I'd had a couple extra hours to put into it, there's a couple things I would have done different. You'll see a high spot right here, and there's also another high spot right there. That's from the repair that's below this plate. Those big gaps, that plate we had to cut out and repair, that's just from the weld stuff on that. Once again, if I'd had more time, we could have transitioned it different, but being that it's just purely cosmetic, and I know the guy wouldn't want an extra 2 hours of shop labor just to transition some welds better. We decided just to kind of roll with it, get it done. These parts get abused, so it's a good possibility that in the near future, we might cut the whole tube out and rebuild the whole thing. So it's just kind of what it is. I'm gonna give the guy a call and let him know he can pick it up whenever he wants, and we'll jump on to the next one.